Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Pelshia, moderator for the conference call. Welcome to Q1FY24 conference call of TNPL, hosted by Sunidhi Securities and Finance Limited. As a reminder, all participants will be in listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need any assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star and then 0 on your touch-tone telephone. Please note this conference is recorded. I would now like to hand over the floor to Rabindranath Nayak from Sunidhi Securities and Finance Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you, Pelshia. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Q1FY24 earnings call of TNPL. First, I would like to thank the management for giving us another opportunity to host the conference call. From the management side, we have Mr. Santosh Vaklu, ED Marketing and Chief Risk Officer, Dr. R. Srinivasan, ED Operations, and Ms. Satya Anand, CFO. Without taking much time, I am now handing over the call to the management for brief opening remarks on the performance and business outlook of the company, post which we will open the floor for Q&A. Over to you, ma'am and sirs. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Rabindra. Good evening and a warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining this con call of earnings conference Q1FY24. I would like to begin this with a big thanks to all our investors, customers, bankers, and all the other stakeholders for their continued support. Because of which we could actually achieve the highest performance in FY23 and Q1FY24. We could not for some reasons take a con call in the prior year. So I would like to quickly highlight a few achievements in the year FY23 and then go on to present the earnings of Q1FY24. During FY23, we are pleased to announce that we recorded the highest ever turnover, EBITDA, PAT, and all the other financial metrics. For the first time in the history of TNPL, we crossed a turnover of 5,000 crores and also crossed the EBITDA of 1,000 crores. We recorded the highest ever PBT of 603 crores. And this growth story has two reasons mainly. One, as you are all aware, the paper segment posted a very strong growth, both in terms of volume and in terms of price realization. And number two, we had implemented our pulp mill as a part of MEP phase 1 in Unit 2. This in-house pulp, the price advantage of this over the imported pulp gave us a benefit of near about 320 crores. And this both add together, actually the performance of this year was phenomenal. Thank you so much. And coming to our debt levels, during the previous year, it stood at 1857 crores and our debt equity ratio was reduced to 0.96, nearing the benchmark. And now we will go to the performance of Q1 FY24. And here we are again happy to inform you that we could sustain the good performance of the previous year in this quarter as well, Q1 FY24. This is again the highest ever quarter performance from the inception till date in terms of EBITDA, PAT, PBT, and all the other parameters. So the revenue posted is 1273 crores. The previous year it was 1136 crores, Q1 of previous year. There is a growth percentage of 12%. And compared to the preceding quarter, the turnover was 868 crores. As a paper segment, it is 868 crores, and the board segment actually the turnover was 289 crores. EBITDA for this quarter is at 325 crores. This is 84% higher compared to the previous year of 176 crores. And compared to the preceding quarter, it was 288 crores, and the percentage growth is 13% of EBITDA. And the overall EBITDA margin stands at 26%. As we mentioned earlier, the paper segment growth was phenomenal, and the EBITDA percentage in paper alone was 37%. This is again our highest. And coming to the volume of paper, there was a slight drop, but still since the prices were very firm, we could achieve this growth in the paper industry. Coming to the packaging board, again, I think in line with all the other paper mills, the demand saw a downtrend in Q1 FY24. The margins as well as the other performance was very muted. And coming to the PBT of this quarter, it is 200 crores. It is up by 115% compared to Q1 FY23, which gave us a PBT of 93 crores. And compared to the preceding quarter, the PBT was 163 crores. This is current year, it is up by 23%. And overall borrowings as at 30th June 23 is 1,918 crores. Debt equity ratio is again further down to 0.93 compared to 1.31 in Q1 of FY23. So coming to the variable cost, we have seen that all the major raw materials like pulp and coal and all the other input costs are in a decreasing trend. But the benefit of this cost reduction we will be seeing from the end of Q2 and onwards. That is it about the performance of the company for this quarter. Now I would like to hand over the session to our ED Marketing for the future growth and the outlook.
A very good evening to all. As far as the markets are concerned, last year we had extremely good market conditions. We were able to achieve zero stocks in the paper business, while yes, we had some leftover stocks in the packaging boards business. Packaging boards continued to remain very tough last year. However, we were able to manage to sail through, and overall as a company we did well. This year, if you look at the first quarter, paper was pretty strong in the first quarter also, except for the last month of the quarter, that is somewhere around June, is when the prices started dropping for TNPL. While yes, for the market they had started dropping earlier, but somehow we were able to manage that at TNPL. As regards to the packaging board business, the market has now started to look up with the Diwali demand kicking in. However, in the first quarter, the market was very bad. I would say it was at the lowest, even lower than last year. And now that demand is better. In addition to that, I would say with the lower cost raw materials and chemicals kicking in by the next month, our profitability definitely will improve on the packaging board side. On the paper side, I would think that profitability might come down because the NSR drops have been very severe. I would say lower than competition, but yes, we had to drop NSRs, and there has been some accumulation of stocks also. However, the bright note on this writing printing side also is that the textbook and the notebook season begins now. So demand is about to start to kick in, and we should be able to push out more volumes into the marketplace. A lower NSR with lower costs, and this year we've targeted a higher production also on the paper side. From average of 400,000 tons, which we did last year, we plan to do a 10% increase, so it will be about 440,000 tons. So overall, I would say the situation seems to be quite all right. Challenging for the Q2, but Q3 should be much, much better than Q2. That's the way I would look at it. Rabindra, would you want us to discuss something on the manufacturing side, or we'd like to take the question?
If you can, sir, we can do that. So otherwise, we can start the queries.
I think we can start the question and answers.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, we will now begin the question and answer session. If you have a question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad and wait for your turn to ask the question. If you would like to withdraw your request, you may do so by pressing star and 1 again. We will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. First question comes from Archana Gude from IDBI Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity, and congrats on a very strong set of numbers. I have 2-3 questions, ma'am. Starting with, as you mentioned that raw material prices as well as other expenses are down this quarter. How we should look at these numbers for rest of the year? And if you can give some color on what kind of dip we should see in the raw material prices, going forward, that would be helpful.
I'll respond to that question. Our major raw materials would be wood, there would be bagasse, and also de-inked, I would say, waste paper, which we use to make de-inked pulp. In addition, we have chemicals and we have coal. Coal would be the third or the fourth biggest raw material in terms of consumption. Our raw material prices have actually not come down at the consumption level for the Q2. Q2 still continues to be high because of the raw material stocks which are getting exhausted. However, by the middle of next month, that is towards the fag end of Q2, the lower price raw materials will start getting consumed, so our cost structures will definitely improve. If you look at the imported pulp, prices have come down from somewhere around 800 plus levels to about 600 levels. If you look at coal, somewhere from about $80, it's $85, it's come to about $65, $67. Other things, if we were to say wood is another major raw material for us. Wood prices have not really come down. Wood prices have slightly gone up, but very, very small fraction. However, when we talk about bagasse and coal, we have also got a barter system wherein we supply coal and get bagasse in lieu of that. So since coal prices have come down, for whatever extent our raw material is purchased on the barter system, our bagasse prices have also come down. So that's a dual effect which is true mostly for TNPL in the paper industry, not for others, because earlier we were hit on a double-edged sword, I would say. Coal prices went up and consequently our bagasse prices also went up. Now when the reverse is happening, the coal prices are coming down, so is our bagasse price also coming down. So those are the positive factors that are coming in to effect and into play for our raw material side.
Sure. That was helpful, sir. So can you just break up the raw material prices or raw material mix in terms of wood pulp, bagasse pulp, and the imported pulp?
It's roughly 1/3 each.
You said 1/3?
I would say.
50%.
Yeah. No, the way I'm splitting is, I'm saying, if I have to split it as the wood, bagasse, and de-inked pulp.
Shall I correct, sir?
Yeah.
Yeah. In the furnish, raw material furnish, the wood and bagasse will be 40/40 and waste paper is recycled fiber is 20%.
Yes. Sure, ma'am.
Yeah.
Also, ma'am, talking about the expansion plans, any guidance on that? How we should look at the new capacity and also the debt required, and how will be the mix in terms of the funding of the new capacity?
Sorry?
New capacity, the 2 lakh ton capacity, what we planned earlier. Any color on that?
Are you talking about the expansion plan?
Yeah, expansion plans.
Looking at the current market scenario, we are still assessing the scenario, and we still have to take a call on when do we propose to go ahead with it. We are looking at some other options also. The way we are looking at is that in the current context, we would look at doing some smaller capexes for 1 or 2 years rather than getting into very, very major capex. So it's still being assessed.
Sure, sir. And so lastly, just guide us in terms of debt repayment plans for next 2-3 years.
See, repayment, we have not borrowed any additional borrowings during previous year as well as in Q1. So, as it stands now, if there are no additional borrowings, which we don't plan anyways, we will be actually clearing all our debts by 29/30. And then our repayment is around 250 crores or so every year on year. Out of the 13 crores of term lending, yes.
Mom, I just missed out the debt part. Is that 1988 crore debt at the end of Q1?
Yes, 1923.
1923. Sure. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next question comes from Abhishek Maheshwari from Skyridge Wealth Management. Please go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thank you for taking my questions. Many congratulations on consistently improvement in performance. Just a few things. So realizations have started to fall significantly. So just wanted to know, are they falling in line with the costs or the drop in realization is a bit more than the cost?
It's a bit more than the cost currently, because as I said, the costs have not come down. The lower cost raw material and chemicals and pulp and all would start hitting us by the last month of this quarter, whereas the realizations have hit us earlier. So if you look this quarter, realizations have fallen more than the drop in cost.
Because from Q1 performance, what we saw that EBITDA margin has improved significantly on compared to Q4 also, right?
That's right.
So what you're saying is Q2 it might normalize a little, and in Q3 it will pick up again.
That's right.
Okay. So I mean, on sustainable basis, we can assume a range of maybe 20 to 25%, somewhere between that.
Right now, the EBITDA percentage is it's anywhere between 18 to 20 would be actually achievable.
Okay. In Q2 that is, but on full year basis, because Q3 it will pick up again, right?
We have to wait and see basically. At this point of time, it's not really. You cannot.
Okay. Got it.
Yes.
Got it. Secondly, ma'am, just about your effective tax rate, most of your peer group, they pay effective tax rate of around 25%, which is also the, corporate tax rate. But yours is always 35%. So can you share some comments on that?
No. We are under MAT actually. We have a MAT credit, huge MAT credit because of our project. So we have to exhaust all the existing MAT credit and then we will opt for the 25% tax bracket.
Can you give a timeline on that if possible?
Maybe another 1 year or so, down 1 year. 1 year.
Okay, so maybe FY25 onwards we'll start seeing 25%.
FY25, yes.
Okay. Thirdly, ma'am, this is for the entire team actually. So any comments about dumping from China? Because, they have significant capacities in packaging boards. Are we seeing some stress on our realizations because of dumping, or it is just that the demand is low?
No, the impact on the packaging board business is one is, I would not say demand per se in India is low, but we also compete internationally. There are goods that are exported. There is paper and board that is exported. China with the excess capacity actually swamped a lot of international markets. So exports of boards and also finished products made out of boards have suffered from the country, which has led to excess supply in the domestic market. Secondly, in our current globalized environment, news travels fast, and the news about very low prices being offered from China does travel in everywhere. That depresses the sentiment. While yes, quantities of imported packaging boards have come in, but the quantities are still not very, very substantial, so to say. I will not say they are not there, but the impact or the impact perceived at the customer level is higher because of the news that is available far cheaper. Yes, imports will come in if they continue to remain so low priced, but I would say more of the events that have happened at the packaging board is to do with the domestic supply-demand mismatch.
Okay, got it. So basically, the dumping from China has not impacted our domestic market, but it has impacted our export market.
No, it has impacted indirectly, I would not say directly.
Yeah. So because they swamped in export markets, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Got it. Sir, lastly, any thoughts about, pouring into establishing mechanized pulp capacities also? The pulp that we generally import from European countries.
You talk about BCTMP. If you look at TNPL, we already have a capacity of about 200,000 tons of folding boxboard or SPS grades and cup stock, which would require about 100,000 tons or slightly less than that of BCTMP. But BCTMP is also of two varieties. One is a softwood and the other is hardwood. So if we were to put up a pulp mill in the country for BCTMP, we would at max need about 45,000 tons of BCTMP. Now, a minimum size of a viable BCTMP pulp mill would be 100,000 tons per annum. Now, in that context, if we were to put up a BCTMP pulp mill right now, we would not be able to utilize a full pulp out of that asset. So the thought was that we would get into another packaging board machine and a BCTMP pulp mill, so that we'll be able to utilize the pulp mill capacity fully, the proposed pulp mill capacity fully. As of now, the plan for the board machine itself is not 100% finalized. We are still working on it. So once that is clear, then only we will think about putting up a new BCTMP capacity.
Okay. That was a great explanation, sir. Thank you. And one last question. Can you share the realizations as they stand today, or is that something that you keep confidential?
It is confidential information, but yes, I would say they're lower by about 6 to 7 rupees on the paper side from the last quarter.
Okay, understood, sir. Thank you very much. I'll get back to the queue.
Thank you. Next question comes from Raj Nagar from Milli Consultant. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. First, congratulations on excellent set of numbers, which we are hoping for quite some time. My question is that your capacity and JK paper capacity for is more or less standalone basis is the same. If we compare cost structure, you are par in all costs except in the cost of power and fuel, which is higher by about more than 125 crores in one quarter. This is consistent for last 2-3 quarters. We understand that it is mainly because of your barter system for coal and versus bagasse. But how soon we will be coming down or will be at par with other players on that account, basically. This is really reducing the profitability of the company.
Yes. So, we are also looking at that. Actually, we are looking at different options. We are looking at cost reduction as well as cost maximization from different angles. We would like to definitely try and match up with our peers. As you mentioned already, this the bagasse barter system, which is actually costing us on the raw material front. That is also actually the power and fuel as well. Actually, that is coal is one thing which is shown in that. Other than that, I think we are on par with the peers, except we have a debt commitment, which couple of other mills are debt free. So I cannot commit to any number of years.
I'll give you a different context also. What I'd like to say is that, as I said that our bagasse as a fiber cost is linked to cost, and we are slightly also different in the coal vis-a-vis our domestic competitors, our paper competitors. Most of our competitors buy Indian coal. We are mostly based out of imported coal. Now, Indian coal prices, I don't think have changed that dramatically over a period of time, but international markets, coal prices have come down far more. So that would be definitely to our advantage. If there's a cost disadvantage which you felt earlier, that our costs were higher vis-a-vis the competition, that would get substantially narrowed down from, I would say, Q3 onwards.
Okay,
Because
that will be great. One more last question is actually about the wood prices. You said that slightly it is going up. In other regions, prices have gone up by 2 rupees to 2 rupees 50 paisa per kilo. In Tamil Nadu, is the ban on sending wood outside Tamil Nadu, or the prices will remain like that for you? How is the scenario? Can you give some color on?
When we say wood, we are basically talking about raw material paper industry. Raw material means basically fibrous raw material. TNPL is far better placed than other players in the industry because of our mix. You know, we have, as I said, it's one third. It's wood pulp, it's bagasse pulp, and it's de-ink pulp. So if that's one third, now you got to factor in that almost 2/3. That is the bagasse pulp and the DIP, that's the de-ink pulp. Both of them have come down. For most of the other players, primarily it is more of wood, and wood is going up. So in our mix, I would say our cost of fiber will be coming down. For others, the cost of fiber will be going up. That's the way I look at it.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. All the best for future.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. I repeat, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. Next question comes from S. Chowdhury from Jet Age Securities. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir, and thank you for the opportunity. Sir, you were saying that the packaging board operations or margins have been impacted in the second quarter, and things are looking up a little bit. So do we see some improvement in prices sometime this quarter or maybe in Q3?
No, improvements in prices have already started happening, I would say, from this month itself.
Okay. And next quarter should be better than this?
Definitely, yes, because that's as it is for the domestic market, Indian market, this is the start of Diwali season, because that's when packaging is produced and goods are produced to be at the shelves before Diwali. So overall, it's a good season.
Okay. But the reduction in margins and prices that we saw in packaging was significantly more than what we saw in paper. So how do you explain this? I mean, what has really happened? Is it mostly because of the demand?
It is. I would not say demand. I would say excess of supply. Demand, as I said, for the Indian market has really not dropped significantly. But yes, exports have dropped, so that has led to excessive domestic supplies. And this being I would say, a commoditized product that we're talking about, even a 5% increase in supply leads to a substantial crash in prices.
Okay. So now things are getting better. And I think that the demand growth in this segment is pretty decent. So that also should take care of the incremental supplies that we have.
Yes.
Over a period of time.
See, we had one very large capacity that was installed about 2 years ago in the country. And the entire industry had thought that it will take about 2.5 years for that capacity to get absorbed. However, because of the COVID situation and very good exports and a lot of volume going out of exports, so that fresh capacity got absorbed immediately. So then now the demand got normalized. So you are feeling the impact of that fresh capacity. Now it is the time that's getting absorbed in the market. So I would say 5-6 months and Indian market would be back to normal.
Okay. So we should be getting back to normal profitability in this segment also.
Yes.
Okay. And one question on the financials. This quarter, other expenses were significantly lower than both last year and the previous quarter at 61 crores. So is there anything extraordinary over there or one-off in that in other expenses?
One reason could be our wage settlement which happened during our last year. There was an additional cost actually in terms of salary. And the other could be, we have a discount also which is plugged into our fixed expenses.
Okay.
And you're comparing which two quarters?
Both, compared to Q4 as well as compared to last year, it is lower. Like 61 crores as against 77 crores last year, and significantly higher in Q4. 111 crore in Q4. Okay.
It is mainly because of the discounts which we have clubbed under that side actually. So the more the volume, more the sales volume, the higher will be the percentage.
Okay. So discounts were higher, much higher in Q4 also because the other expenses was pretty high.
Volume was also higher.
That's right.
Volumes were higher, so obviously the amount of discount will be higher.
Okay. So it's a combination of both. Okay, fine. That's it from my side. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Next question comes from Monish Godke from HDFC. Please go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
Sir, if I see a raw material cost per ton, do you have data for raw material cost for pulp made from bagasse, de-inked and as well as wood?
Yes, we have. Obviously, we are supposed to have it.
Hello?
Yeah, could you share the same?
We will not be able to share the exact amount, but yes, if you look at in terms of ranking, one would say that we are talking current figures. Current quarter, almost all three are at virtually same level.
Okay.
Somewhere around the early 40,000.
Okay. But I believe the realization from bagasse, paper made from bagasse pulp and de-inked pulp would be lower, right? As compared to wood pulp?
It is not per se that you can take it like that. It depends on how you blend it and what kind of grades are you making. And some people like us who have got very good treatment systems and excellent machinery, there is not much of a difference between the grades of paper that you make by using bagasse or by using wood pulp or by using recycled paper. Because, if you get a good machine to clean up the stuff and give a good formation and blend it properly, you really need not sell it at a discount.
Okay. And so this waste paper which we use to make de-inked pulp, is it imported or is it domestically procured?
We have both.
Okay.
50-50. Indian waste paper is not as good as imported waste paper. So one definitely want to buy more of an imported waste paper. However, that's slightly more expensive. So you try and balance the two.
Okay. And sir, in Q1 our gross margin was, pretty decent, 63%. So do you expect to maintain this gross margin do you expect this gross margin to go down?
Yes, in the next quarter, actually, definitely, because the challenging times are ahead. So, looking forward, after Q3 and Q4 is normally a good quarter. Probably in Q4, this would get better.
Okay.
Yes.
And ma'am, I did not get your point on this discount on sales. I mean, the other expenses you said some discount was there.
Yes.
But I believe that should be adjusted from sales, right?
No.
Okay.
Various sites under which the differences come up. So one is in advertisements, there is I'm seeing a hike. And there are a couple of other expenses as well. So provision for owner is contracted on 3 tons. So it comes with a miscellaneous. Normally, we are only clubbing it under expenses. It is not reduced from our realization.
Okay. So do you expect to have this other expenses where 31% of the sales? So do you expect to have same trajectory or it will go down or go up?
Other expenses cannot be 31%.
It is not 31%. I don't know from where is something.
No, I have combined. Okay, I have combined the power cost also. Okay.
Yes. Power is always on the higher side.
Okay. And last question from my side, is it possible to share the sales volume for Q1?
Yeah.
That we can do. Sales volume in terms of tonnage or in terms of?
Yeah, tonnage.
The paper, it is 89,286 tons.
Okay.
And board, it is 39,088.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Next question comes from Mitesh Mehta from M&M Financial Services Private Limited. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone, and a big congratulations on excellent set of numbers.
Yes.
I just had one question with respect to availability of wood and water. If you can throw some light, because there were some concerns with respect to slightly weaker monsoon in South India, and we have had some water issues earlier. And with respect to wood also, I would be I've been told that there is some deficiency in availability. Can you just throw some more light on these two aspects, please?
Yeah.
What would the way be?
The wood aspect, yes, definitely we are comfortable at present because we have got our own. There are sources like we are getting from Forest Development Corporation. We get about 20% of the material is assured. Apart from that, the company is also promoting agroforestry and palm forestry plantations to the tune of 75% of our raw material comes from our own plantation. So that we are last 3 years after our mill expansion plan at Unit 2, after the new pulp mill, we have also enhanced our plantation scheme and palm forestry. So now we are supplying almost more than 7 crore, one of the largest in the country. So the area also every year we are planting about 25,000 acres. So sustained availability of raw material is ensured, wood front. In the waterfront, yes, definitely there was a period where 2017-18 there was a severe drought. But at present we are very comfortable. We are also one of the lowest water consuming plant, that is almost 25 cubic meter per ton of paper. And we are taking a lot of efforts on water conservation practices. So measures that definitely with even lowest water quantity available in the river or the reservoir, we will be able to manage the situation. That's what we are now confident.
Excellent. Thank you and best wishes. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next question comes from Rajiv Kumar, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello, ma'am. Thank you for taking my question. I'm from Kolkata.
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am, I have 2 questions. One is regarding the raw material thing and another is regarding the sales part. The first is, ma'am, there is an IAS officer, Supriya ji, who is the additional chief secretary. She has tweeted that TNPL is helping you people, helping the government to clear forest department for this tiger reserve coming up. Out of 800 hectares, 200 has already been cleared by TNPL. So are you people paying for this clearance thing, or it is a gift from the owner, like the promoter, the government of Tamil Nadu?
Come again? No. It is a commercial activity. In fact, the wood which we are talking is there is a species called Senna spectabilis, which is Yeah, it is an invasive species spread in the reserve forest area, which is prohibiting the natural forest growth. That's why the government has taken initiative under the guidance of High Court. There TNPL entered into as an environmental friendly company. We also wanted to help the government to eradicate the species by harvesting those plantations, and it is being used as a pulpwood also. So we get some gain, but we are spending some money, but we are also giving some charges to the government as a conservation charges.
Okay. So out of this 700 hectares, 200 has been already been procured. That means for the next few quarters, like this process is going to continue. This material.
Around the 250 hectares have been already cleared. And the balance area also we are trying to clear because now this is a monsoon season. There is a slight slackness and it will continue and it will be cleared in this Nilgiri biosphere.
So, sir, how much of this is adding up to the bottom line?
Definitely we are getting at a economically better price, and the pulp wood also, the wood also used as better wood compared to the other species like eucalyptus. So we definitely will add the bottom line because the variable cost, the cost of wood will come down, overall cost. But it will be only hardly 10% of the total raw material what we consume.
Okay, sir. Sir, my next question is about the demand thing. Sir, there is new education policy that government is talking about. So is there any direct implication like for the print papers you people make? So with respect to this new education policy going to come across India?
No, there will be a spurt in demand. I would not say a very substantial spurt in demand. But yes, there will be 10 to 15% spurt in demand because a lot of books are normally reused for the next session by the poorer segments of the society. So what normally happens is if you have a new curriculum coming in, everybody has to buy fresh books.
Correct.
So there will be a spurt of demand. We are expecting about a 15 to 20% increase in demand.
So this 30% is only for TNPL or for the entire industry?
20%.
Okay. Okay. My final question is about like the general election in 2024 is coming up. So paper will be needed for publicity and everything. Do you have anything in mind that have you any trend or historical data that whenever these Lok Sabha elections happen every 5 years, is there any change in the demand of paper?
Not really. The way we look at it, copier demand goes up, and then there is some recycled papers which is used for the voter list and all. That also demand goes up. Overall, election year consumption of paper is higher.
Higher, right? That's what I like. This statistics is correct that the demand is higher for the paper in the election year, like out of 5 years down.
Definitely.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Next question comes from Jayesh Gandhi from Harshad H. Gandhi Securities Private Limited. Please go ahead.
So congratulations on good set of numbers. So my question is on the capacity that we have currently. If I'm getting it correct, for paper we have 4 lakh ton capacity and packaging board we have 2 lakh ton capacity. Is it right?
No, we restated as 4 lakh 40 and 2 lakh.
Okay. And have you provided any guidance on as to what we are thinking in this year we can do volume for paper and packaging?
We should be able to do about 6 lakhs 20, somewhere there, 6 lakhs 15, 6 lakhs 20.
I'm sorry, can you repeat, sir?
Somewhere around 6 to 6.2 lakhs. Both the units combined.
Can you give a breakup, sir?
Somewhere around 4 lakh 20, 4 lakh 25 for unit 1 and about 1 lakh 90 for unit 2. When I say unit 2 means board and when I said unit 1 means paper.
So probably we are at least thinking of achieving somewhat 7% growth in paper and equivalent % growth in packaging, if I can say that.
I don't have a calculator with me at the moment.
Can you give me last year's number if you can?
Last year's volume?
Yeah.
Last year's volume.
Whole of FY23.
Yes.
FY23 4,20,000 in paper and lakh and 68 in board.
That is
you said 3,20,000? I'm sorry, on paper?
Just hold on for a sec.
You're looking for sales number or?
Yeah, I'm looking for sales number, madam.
Okay, paper it is 4,20,000 and board it is 1,67,000.
Okay, so we are maintaining the guidance on paper same as as it was last year?
Maybe, as I said, might be about 8 to 10,000 tons more.
Okay. Okay. And have we talked about any CapEx this year, madam?
CapEx this year is only the sustenance CapEx we are actually looking at. And we are also in the process of revamping our steam sector. That is also again not a huge CapEx, probably around 100 crores.
Okay. That's it from my side, and best of luck for future.
Thank you. We have a follow-up question from Raj Nagar from Milli Consultants. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I have 2 questions more, please.
Yes.
You were the largest exporter in last year or even before that from India. How is the current scenario of export?
We are exporting decent volumes this year also.
What will be the percentage?
Our overall exports would be in the range of about 18 to 20%.
Okay. And is it the better price compared to local price, or it is
lower price than domestic price?
Okay. And the second question is basically sometime back, I think last year, that you will be to reduce the cost of power. You were to use the lignite from Navadi lignite. Are you using some lignite or not now?
No, not now. The lignite availability itself is now limited. So we are only using coal, as well as some extent we are using biomass.
Okay. Well, what is your power cost, if it is possible to share, per unit?
Yes, somewhere, madam.
So he's asking the power cost per unit.
Yes.
It's about 5 rupees 50 paise, roughly around 5 to 6 rupees.
Okay.
Per unit.
That's all. Okay, sir. Thank you so much. This is all from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any question, please press star and 1 on your telephone keypad. We have a follow-up question from Monish Godke from HDFC. Please go ahead.
Hello. So this pulp mill which we have at Unit 2, what is the capacity utilization for the same?
No, at present we are utilizing almost 95%.
Okay. And if we have to set up any additional capacity, do we have sufficient pulp, or we have to set up a pulping as well as, paper or board capacity?
No, we have got additional pulp. In hardwood line we have got.
Sorry?
Are you talking about additional capacity for paper?
Yeah, I mean any capacity. Do we have sufficient pulp or,
See, our pulp mill is, we have scope to increase production at our Unit 2 pulp mill by close to 25%. So that is a second phase where we will debottleneck it to increase the capacity by about 25%. We can take 100 tons of pulp more out of that pulp mill. That said, also the product mix that we have engineered it to ensure that we consume the entire pulp that we are making. But were we to increase the mix of our folding box board, then we would be able to have spare pulp. So currently we are not having spare pulp because we engineered our product mix to grades which use more of our own pulp. But as I said, when the markets improve or when we have additional pulp available, we will have to make changes to our pulp mill. But if we were to put up a fresh paper capacity, I would say we would have close to about 40,000-45,000 tons of pulp available by changing the existing product mix.
Okay. And then so in Q1 we had a revenue of 1260 crores from paper and paper board. And if I use your numbers, then that gives me realization of some 98,000 rupees per ton. So does it include any other income? I mean, other sales other than paper or board?
Yes, we have the other income of notebook and then power and also cement.
Okay, so that was included in that number, 1260 crore.
Yes, yes.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a follow-up question from Abhishek Maheshwari from Skyridge Wealth Management. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you for the follow-up. For any future expansions, are we considering acquisitions also, or is it, do we plan to do only greenfield?
I think there is no formalized plan. I mean, we do have some greenfield thoughts. If some good potential candidates are there, we are always open to explore.
Okay, so there's nothing against acquisitions as such. If a good opportunity presents itself, you will consider?
Definitely, yes.
Okay, thank you. Good to know. All the best.
Thank you. Next question comes from Govind Lal Gilada, an individual investor. Please go ahead. I repeat, question comes from Govind Lal Gilada, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello?
Hello.
Are you able to hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Good afternoon to all, and thanks for giving me opportunity. I got some 2-3 questions, sir. See, regarding this cost of material consumed, this phenomenon was not this particular year. The last 3-4 years I am observing. Third quarter versus fourth and first quarter. Generally, third versus fourth, it goes up by 5-6%, and first quarter it comes down 5-6%. Again, second quarter it goes up. What is this peculiar phenomena? Why third versus fourth goes up, then first again it comes down?
It has to be something to do with our bagasse consumption, which happens during Q4.
See, bagasse is available only in 4 to 5 months of the year. So it is procured and kept. So obviously that's the way you would be looking at it.
So this every year phenomena. This is not particular this year. This 5% of the last minus year.
No, it is agricultural produce.
It's seasonal.
So there is a season when bagasse is produced, and that's when you have to procure it.
So that's what I'm asking. Every year it goes down. Third versus fourth goes up, then first it comes down. So this year also it has happened. Third versus fourth it has gone up. First it has come down. Second again it goes up. Right? So again, second quarter we should hope that it will go up some versus first quarter. What it is every year it is happening.
Our purchasing will go up.
Okay. Then is it will be helpful, sir, if you give this sales numbers you have given anywhere right now. In press release, if you give that consistency, you should make giving production number. This time you have given sales number, you are not given. Sometimes you give production sales both. So I request, sir, every quarter if you give both the numbers, and over and above it will be icing on cake if you give NSR also. So
actually, most of the companies do not share their production or sales numbers also. TNPL being a very, very transparent organization, we definitely show our production and sales numbers. Sometimes, I mean, possibly we are showing our sales numbers, but actually, most of the companies don't show volumes.
No, I agree, but that consistency what I want. Something performance should have.
We'll ensure that.
No. Some quarter you give, some quarter you don't give. Last quarter you have given only production number. Before that you have given both production and sales number. That's all. So when some consistency you make, that will be comfortable. And this
note of this.
Yes. We made a note of that.
Yeah, great, sir. Great. This is it possible to give me NSR for quarter 4, quarter 1, sir, for paper and both? Is it possible?
You know the production, as you said, you can see it, you can divide and get the NSR.
No, for sales, I got figure for board and paper, but for overall the sales, there is no breakup. Or can you give me how much sales is for board and paper, sir, in rupees?
We just mentioned the sales figures. Sales for board was 420,000 and for board paper, sales for paper was 420,000 and board was about 1.7 lakh tons.
No, I'm asking in terms of crores rupees, sir, in quarter one, how much was
we will not be able
for
to look for that at the moment.
Okay. Great, sir. Thank you very much. All the best.
Thank you. Next question comes from Rohan Gupta from Nuvama. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Good evening. Just wanted to understand situation from China in terms of export opportunities from China and what are the utilization levels are at the Chinese plant, and if you can just throw some light on that.
So can you come again? What are you asking?
Sir, I'm asking on the China situation right now. Are exports from China, what are the utilization level at the Chinese plant? If you have any such idea on this?
No, we would not have an idea of the Chinese capacity utilization. But yes, exports out of China are happening globally at very, very extremely low prices. And that's primarily basically packaging boards, folding box board.
So in terms of the realization in our domestic market and versus the imported, because the pulp prices in the imports market have come down drastically. So any number you can show that what is the realization difference right now between the global export prices of paper and on the domestic paper prices?
See, the global, if you look at the Chinese export prices to the global markets, they are somewhere in the range of about $600 to $625 per ton.
Okay.
And Indian realization would be somewhere around 72 to 75,000 rupees a ton.
Okay. So you are saying that the domestic markets are still not flooded or have not been affected by the Chinese supplies as of now?
This is a folding box board and packaging boards. If you see, this is a custom-made product. So flooding is not possible. It's not like a copier, which is a standard size GSM, which can be flooded. As I said, domestic industry realizations are higher than Chinese because it is not all that simple to customize the product. When you customize the product, there are losses.
So in the categories of maplitho and in the categories of maplitho papers and the writing paper, will there be flooding happening? I mean, in the copier paper categories?
China hasn't got excess capacity in those days. They've not been exporting large quantities of that. That has been only out of Indonesia.
Okay. So is there any threat right now that the domestic realizations, you mentioned roughly 72,000, which is at a significant premium to what the global paper prices are right now. Do you see that there may be pressure on the domestic realization?
No, one needs to understand that, when I'm talking about the 72,000 tons as a domestic realization for Indian mills, you need to understand that when you get into the Chinese market also inside China, the prices are not $625. They are also selling upwards of $800. So it's only the excess capacity that they pump and dump into other countries.
Okay.
And when we discussed earlier, I did mention that our export prices are also lower than our domestic prices. So, you want to protect your domestic market and evacuate the excess capacity at lower prices. So that's precisely what China has also been doing.
Got it. But we will not have an idea about the capacity utilization level right now in China.
Not really.
Okay. That's it from my side, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That will be the last question for the day. Now I hand over the floor to management for closing comments.
Thank you everyone for joining this session. We hope to do better in the times to come ahead.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes.
Thank you from all of us.
Yes, thank you from the TNPL team.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes your conference for today. Thank you for your participation and for using Doorsabha's conference call service. You may disconnect your lines now. Thank you and have a good day.
Thanks.